In this tutorial we're going to see how to compress a series of photographic images. So you can see here we've got in this folder a sequence of photographic images which I've taken that I want to create an animation from. But the problem I have is that they're very high resolution images. So if I look at the properties of this, we've got nearly over 4,000 by nearly 3,000 pixels, and it's approximately 2 megabytes in size. They vary slightly, but they're all approximately 2 megabytes in size. So what we want to do is we want to make these much smaller so that our animation doesn't take up gigabytes of space. So what we're going to do is we're going to initially work out our kind of destination size. So what I'm going to do is open up Photoshop, open up one of those images in Photoshop, and what I need to do is just to change the image size, go to the image menu, click on image size, and choose destination width, which is going to be 600 pixels. And I can see, because these are linked and the proportions are constrained, if it's still in scale, the height is going to be 400 pixels compared to a width of 600 pixels. Now I have to remember or write down those dimensions because that's going to be our target size. Click on OK, and I can close down Photoshop now. Well, I can certainly close down that image that I had open in Photoshop. And what we're going to do is now we're going to use a program called Bridge in the Adobe Master Collection. I'm going to find Adobe Bridge CS4, and it pops up, and it's got a kind of file browser within it. We're going to go to my computer, and then my S drive, my ICT folder, and then my animation folder. In here is a folder that contains these images. Now, as I can see, this is 2 megabytes and 4 by 3,000 pixels. What I want to do is I want to go to Tools and then Photoshop and Image Processor. It's going to use Photoshop. It's going to send these images to Photoshop. Now I've just made a mistake because at the moment it's only going to process one file, so I'm going to cancel that. Go back here and click on the first image and shift and click on the last image so that we're processing all of these images. Then go to Tools, Photoshop and Image Processor. It'll open up Photoshop, and then it'll open up this dialog, and now we just check that it's going to process those 32 images. It's going to save in the same location. Don't worry about that because it's going to create a new folder which will contain the resized images. Save as a JPEG is fine, and we want to resize to fit, and here's where we need to type those dimensions: 600 by 400 pixels. And now we're going to click Run, and we can see Photoshop just opening up these images, shrinking it down, and then going on to the next one. If I look in this folder through Windows Explorer, I can see now it's created a folder called JPEG, and it's now creating these compressed, resized images. And I can see that if I click on it, the size is 24K and the dimensions 600 by 400 pixels. So these pictures now we'll be able to use as our images to insert into our animation using whatever animation program you favor.